Home ownership. Let's talk about this in the sense of a lot of people don't realize all of the benefits that go with being a homeowner. So if you're looking at being a first-time home buyer, or if you haven't bought a house in a while, you're coming back from renting, or if you currently own your house, this could be helpful information just to make sure that you understand all of the benefits that you get for being a homeowner, and more importantly, why so many people continue to build wealth through home ownership and even becoming an investor and a landlord. We'll get to that at the end. So my name is Stubbs. I'm a team leader and co-founder here at the SB Luxury Group. So let's dive into it. What are the main benefits to becoming a homeowner? Well, there's several. So number one, tax savings. So when you purchase a property, most people are getting a loan, meaning you're gonna have a interest payment every single month that goes to the bank. That, along with your property taxes that every single house in Orange County is gonna have, both of those are tax deductions. Now again, I'm not a CPA, so talk to your accountant to see specifics. However, I know for me, this is something that saves me thousands and thousands of dollars a year. When I do my tax returns, I get to take that off of my income, and I end up paying less taxes to the government, which puts more money in my pockets. Probably the most important thing about home ownership in the short term, but more in the long term, let's go to number two, is the equity buildup. Now we know for the last 2 years, we've seen a tremendous amount of price appreciation, but even before that, at a normal 3 to 5% appreciation, which was what we've seen pretty much every year on average in Orange County and throughout the United States, is your home's value is gonna continuously increase over years. Now, you're gonna have little ups and downs when you look at it on a short time horizon, but if you stretch this thing out, if you buy a house and you hold it for 30 years, every single time that house is going to be worth more 30 years from now than when you bought it. So having a property and holding it is going to do two things. One, the house becomes worth more money, so you're going to gain equity that way, but you're also going to be paying down with your mortgage. So back to the first one, when you're making that mortgage payment, a portion of that goes to interest, of course, which you can write off, but the other portion goes into the house, meaning it's paying down the principal. So the gap between what your house is worth and what you owe on that loan, that gap gets bigger and bigger, and that's called your equity. Okay, now last, let's talk about leveraging real estate. Now we can go two different ways here. We can go the investing route, but let's look at this from using a house as a stepping stone, which is what most people end up doing. When we're going out and viewing properties with first-time home buyers, very seldom are they buying their dream home. I know I wasn't when I was shopping. I wanted to get into something that I could afford comfortably, that I would be fine keeping for the long term, because I wanted to buy it as an investment property. But most people, when you buy your first property, you're going to live in it for a few years, you're going to pay down that mortgage, the house is going to be worth a little bit more, and you build up that equity. Now when you're thinking about moving maybe from a townhome to a single family house with a yard, you can use the equity from this house and trade it in for your new home. So you can sell the house you were in to help you qualify for more on your next property. This is how most people go from that entry-level condo 3 or 4, 5, 10 years later, or 2 or 3 houses later, they trade that house in for a bigger one or a nicer one or more of what they want, and that gets them into that dream home later down the road. So there are no secrets to real estate, and the reality is the people that are the most successful are in the market longer than those who are not successful most of the time. So if you're thinking about building your wealth and looking at real estate as a vehicle to do that, if you get in and you hold that property, you hold that for a long enough period of time, you're gonna have tremendous tax benefits. That property is gonna go up in value, and you can also leverage that property. Now, I'll give you 2 quick tips on investing in real estate. Let's say that the property that you bought 3 or 4 years ago, you're growing out of, and you're able to actually buy your next property without selling this one. Then you have a huge leverage point where you can use that other property as now an investment property. Maybe you're cash flowing a few $100s a month and still building equity because it's going to be worth more. Somebody else is paying that entire mortgage, meaning your balance is going to go lower and lower on your actual mortgage. Now you're going to be doing that on 2 properties. And when you combine this and you go year over year over year, you're going to see a tremendous amount of wealth build up way before you realize it. So if you have any questions, like I said, if you're interested in that investing side of it, feel free to reach out and let us know. There are a million different ways to go. And as always, thanks for watching.